30 hours ago, Republic TV brought you the statements of the Malegaon blast accused. We told you there was a prosecution witness who in court made a big claim that he was asked by the ATS to name Yogi Adityanath, Indresh Kumar, Asimanand and two others. For the first time on TV, we have 95 pages of the witness statements, 95 pages in my hand that Shravan Sen has accessed. Shravan Sen will be joining us. All the witnesses in the Malegaon blast case, all the witnesses in the Malegaon blast case, 95 pages of it accessed by Republic TV, and Shravan Sen is joining us with the details of all of this, and it just turns the entire case on its head. Most of them, and I'm going to read what the witnesses have said one after the other. We have all the witness statements, 95 pages. I'm going to read from one of them, all of them, one by one. We are not showing the names, we're hiding the names, and these are the details accessed by Republic TV. Now, all of them, each one who in court has said that there was a conspiracy in the Malegaon case. It's all recorded here, and it's on Republic TV, the channel that broke the story about 30 hours ago. Yesterday at about 12 o'clock, we broke the story. We're getting in the full details. Here are the statements, 95 pages of it. I'll wait for Shravan to come, but I want to read out some of the excerpts of this witness statement. At least 5 to 10 witness statements have been accessed in the Malegaon blast case, and we have the details one after the other. I'm going to request my video journalist Bhatt to just come here, and some of, while I focus on the witness statements, I have with me, one witness says he was never called by the ATS. A second witness says he was never called to act as a punch. A third witness says he never went to any place with the police. A fourth witness says it's not true that the police saw 10 letterheads of Abhinav Bharat. A fifth witness says nothing with Prasad Purohit was ever printed. Now, all of these are on Republic TV exclusively. Shravan is with me. Malegaon witness papers. Shravan accessing all the 95 papers. Shravan, how many witnesses are here? And why does this change the entire Malegaon case? Shravan joining us from the Delhi newsroom. Shravan, over to you.
Well, in fact, Niranjan, the entire dossier, the entire statements, all the witnesses that have been examined so far, that's the list of witnesses. We are not naming any of the witnesses in this particular case, ensuring that none of those details are out. We are only focusing on the content of what the statement that has been given by those witnesses and the cross-examination that has taken place. Let me just quickly ask my camera person to begin by one of the witness who clearly talks about the fact that he was never called by the ATS. Take a look at this. The first point says, I was never called by the ATS to the office of the ATS at Pune Police, never called me to act as a punch. I never went to any place with the police. Now let me also take you through some of the other statements that have come in. Take a look at this. It is not true that police seized 10 letterheads of Abhinav Bharat Sanstha on which the registration number of the office as well as President Ninad and Vice President Prasad Purohit was printed. It is not true that police obtained our signatures on the said letterhead and gave the number. Now, it still goes on. It is not true that there was a letter of Institute of Research and Development in Oriental Studies, Arms and Armors having this particular date. Not true that the said letter reads out 2,25,000 was received by them. Now, let me just put this into perspective. What are these all about? Now, all of these witnesses were essentially called by the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorist Squad. They were called in as punch witnesses. On the basis of their statements, the ATS had built this entire narrative as far as the Malegaon blast case is concerned, in which they are essentially saying that those who have been arrested, Lieutenant Colonel Purohit and others who are accused in this entire matter, they have been linked to this organization called Abhinav Bharat, and they are the ones who had plotted this entire blast that took place. Let's take a look at the other very interesting statement that we have accessed. Now, this talks about the rifles that were basically recovered, or the other statements that they're talking about, how the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorist Squad had begun. It is not true in the first week of October 2008, Purohit phoned me and told me to carry 3 air rifles to Panchmadi from Rahirkar. It is not true that in October 2008, Swargate police inquired with us and told us that we cannot carry the air rifles by the ST bus. It is not true, hence we handed over the said rifles to Rahirkar. Now take a look at this. It is not true that Colonel Purohit arranged the dinner, breakfast and tea and he visited the camps occasionally. It is not true that the camp started from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 in the evening. It is not true, and I had stated to the police that we were given training on the topics. These are the topics that have basically been mentioned: Bharat, Pakistan, Yudh. And there are various other statements that have also been given. So clearly, each and every element of the Maharashtra anti-terrorist squad has now been demolished by these witnesses who have now been examined by the special prosecutor of the NIA. Not just that, they have also been cross-examined by the defense lawyers. It remains to be seen how this is going to be taken by the court. But having said that, what's very important to point out here, every statement that you're taking a look at, everyone has basically backtracked from what the ATS had presented. It now appears, Niranjan, just take a look. It is not true that they showed us 2 CDs. It is not true that when the second CD was played, that time I was not there, I was on the bed. It is not true that they called us for the adventure camp. It is not true that no subject was of adventure, neither they gave us any training regarding the same. It is not true that Colonel Purohit taught us basic education and Chaturvedi taught us self-defense and demonstration of self-defense by stick. It is not true, as I was preparing for the service selection board exam, hence I requested Colonel Purohit for return journey. It is not true that he handed over 2,000 rupees to both of us and returned. Now, what does this essentially indicate, Niranjan? This basically indicates that all of this figured in the statement that was allegedly recorded by the Maharashtra anti-terrorist squad on the name of this particular witness. So what the ATS is trying to say is that there is a connection between A, the witness, B, the accused in this particular case, that is Lieutenant Colonel Purohit, where they are saying that there were basic training that was imparted training while they were attending sessions of Abhinav Bharat. And this training was pertaining to some sort of an arms training that was taking place. That is the reason why what you see on this statement right now is a categorical denial of the fact that no such training was imparted, no such arms training was provided as far as Abhinav Bharat's sessions are concerned, and also saying that as far as Colonel Purohit visit to Abhinav Bharat camps are concerned, they are saying that this was quite occasional. There wasn't a pre-decided kind of a routine of Colonel Purohit going to Abhinav Bharat camps. That has also now been denied by the witnesses. These witnesses figured in the ATS investigation.
Shravan, very interesting mention that I came across here. I'm just going to try and reduce the volume here so that there is no echo from the newsroom. Very interesting mention. There is a mention here, one of the witnesses, I'm not going to give the details of the witness, but I'm just going to show this here and I'll let you take it from there. Shravan, one of the witnesses says, it is true that Parambir Singh told me that if I will not cooperate with them, then they will entangle me in the offence and told me to state the facts as per their directions. It is true that the said officer told me that these directions were from a superior. Now, it's just one of the witnesses, not the first. At least 10 versions have emerged in the Malegaon case, and all of them seem to match. Shravan.
Well, in fact, not just one, there are about 13 to 14 such witnesses. Almost all of the witnesses have given a new version altogether, and it basically demolishes the version put forth by the Maharashtra anti-terrorist squad. Whether this matches the NIA investigation is something that we'll have to wait and watch, but clearly, Niranjan, the fact of the matter is that here they have detailed out what, according to them, was the truth as far as Malegaon blast is concerned. A lot of the accused who have now come on record saying that they were not even present. One of the accused who spoke to Republic TV just yesterday said that he was actually in Bhopal. He was forcefully picked up by the Maharashtra anti-terrorist squad. Secondly, they were taken in a chartered flight, brought to Mumbai, taken to an undisclosed location, and they claim, it's a claim that has been made by the witness. It finally depends on how things pan out in the court and whether at all there is any lacuna that is basically spotted by the court or not. But as far as these statements are concerned, if you take these witness statements on face value, then the fact of the matter is that there is a huge discrepancy that has been pointed out by the witnesses in the ATS investigation. And that is the reason why, Niranjan, when the Special Public Prosecutor of the National Investigation Agency, Avinash Rasal, spoke to Republic TV, when we categorically asked what happens next as far as these cases are concerned, he made it abundantly clear that you need the Maharashtra ATS officers to appear before the court. They need to appear before the court. They need to testify before the court as far as their version of this entire investigation goes.
Yeah, and the story broken by Republic TV. In fact, yesterday when we heard of the first statement of the prosecution witness Shravan, who actually said in court that he had never ever recorded a statement before the ATS. But there was a view, he said, and there was a view that his statement was actually presented as his statement. He says he never recorded a statement. So there are several versions, witnesses turning hostile. But the way it's all happening raises questions, Shravan.
Well, you know, I was just skimming through the other witness statements and statements also. And Niranjan, just answering your question that yes, of course, it raises a lot of questions about the investigation, the initial investigation that was carried out. It remains to be seen how exactly the NIA is going to take this forward. But take a look at this. As far as Lieutenant Colonel Purohit is concerned, he is yet to be discharged in this particular case. There are other accused who have now been granted bail. But a role of Lieutenant Colonel Purohit, there was a large narrative that was built by the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorist Squad, almost making it look like that Lieutenant Colonel Purohit, as far as the Malegaon blast is concerned, appeared to be the kingpin of it. But here, all of the witnesses have taken the name of Lieutenant Colonel Purohit and how they were associated with Lieutenant Colonel Purohit. If you remember, let me put this into perspective, there was some sort of a meeting. According to the anti-terrorist squad, there was a meeting of conspiracy that actually took place and several of the accused were present. These meetings that they are talking about, one reference of that is here in one of the witness statements. They are saying it is not true that after lunch at about 3 o'clock or to 3:30, we went to the spot of camp by a Scorpio. It is not true that Colonel Purohit, I'm not taking the names of others here, discussed about the camp. So about the nature of the work performed by the students. It is not true that while returning from the said spot, Colonel Purohit stopped the vehicle. Not true that one person came there on blue-purple color Pulsar vehicle. It is not true that Colonel Prasad Purohit said the person quarreled on account of personal reasons. So almost every statement that we have got our hands on right now have essentially raised a doubt about this entire investigation that has been carried out by the ATS. So it remains to be seen the court whether they're going to take cognizance of the witness statements that have already been recorded so far. It is before the court. The next date of hearing is on the 30th is what we are being told. But with several of these witnesses now turning their back on the investigation that has been carried out by the ATS, it remains to be seen how the NIA is going to take this forward.
Yeah. Yogi Adityanath raised it in battleground Uttar Pradesh. It's become the biggest talking point, a controversy which even the BJP is raising in the national capital. Here's what the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh said. I want you to stay with us, Shravan. Let's play out some of the responses we've been getting, including those named by the prosecution witness who said he was asked to name Yogi Adityanath, he was asked to name Indresh Kumar, he was asked to name Sunil Diodar. They've spoken to Republic. Let's play that out.